Welcome back to Snackcast, everybody.
Who's the new guy?
Who is the new guy?
What's the story here?
Well, our revered dear leader and CEO was tragically No, I'm kidding.
No. He is our dear leader, but he's still with us.
No, he's actually on vacation. I think they were going to check out a Braves game and hit Stone Mountain.
All right.
So pretty cool. I hope you're having a good time.
All right, we'll send some good vibes up that way for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Jerry. Usually I'm behind the camera. Today,
the infamous.
Out of the shadows. Stepping into the big
He's
chair.
actually the true professional.
That's not
and
true.
he coaches Kevin and I a lot. So
You'll
see
I
it.
just
You'll
sit there
figure
and
it
laugh
out.
at him. I'm just like, what? Not.
You'll figure it out by the end.
So we still continue on, however, with this fantastic read.
Lies my doctor told me.
The Tennessee doctor, Ken D. Berry, M.D.,
Yep.
who says he used to be fat and runny-nosed and terrible health.
And giving the different advice to all his patients, right?
He said he had to look in the mirror before he could actually start giving out nutritional advice, especially.
Right. So what lie are we tackling today?
We are going to jump into the conversation surrounding salt. So here is the lie in the chapter itself. Eating salt increases your risk of having high blood pressure, which increases your risk for heart attack and stroke. You should eat a low-salt diet as much as possible to prevent that heart disease. That is the lie.
And that is
we've all heard, by the way.
What they preach, no doubt.
Yes.
I've heard it with my own ears. I was told to go buy imitation salt at one point.
Oh, wow.
Back when I was in a professional career and was a little bit bigger.
What would replace that? How long is that list of ingredients?
Oh, right. At the time, I wasn't smart enough to look. I just went and bought it.
Yeah,
right.
Somebody that you trust told you to do so.
I'm sure it's phosphate. It's nothing but phosphate.
Right.
So, man, this one's close to my heart because I am a salt guy.
Okay.
I will take a bag of jalapeno kettle chips
we won't see you for a while.
Over a brownie all day long.
Really?
Sugar's not my thing.
Okay. All right. Now,
Definitely salt.
So I don't relate to that as easily, but a lot of folks in my family love the salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah.
So does it cause high blood pressure?
Well, apparently there's not much research done. I've seen several. Actually, I went to YouTube and I just wanted to put in these words into the search bar. I wrote salt, hypertension, and heart attack. That's all I wrote. The first video was titled this: Why is too much salt bad for you? And that's from the British Heart Association. That was the very first video. The second video from a very reputable doctor says low salt increases your risk of heart attack. Oh. So back to back, just to show you the disparity between the two philosophies, the first two videos had completely opposite advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
You know something, man? One of the things I do like about his book is when he does the common sense dive, right?
Yes.
And he did reference that, farmers put salt licks out for their livestock, and they love it.
Yes.
Right?
Cows gravitate to it. Farm animals.
Right.
Actually, every animal, yeah.
Well, that's what he said. I don't know how he measured that, how he knew that every mammal
is searching for it.
And craves salt at some level.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder. We talk about ancestral DNA and honoring that DNA.
Right.
And if it's bad for us, would us across the animal spectrum search for it, hunt for it?
Right. Now, I know there's ways that sugar can hijack your brain. It can become a reward for like a horse, let's say. But if it never got that taste in the first place, would it naturally gravitate to go search for salt? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yes. It's only when we had our first Snickers bar that we decided to go back to the convenience store.
Yeah, right? He talks about meaningful research, and he said, actually, any of the research that's labeled as, meaningful,
right.
The conclusion and the body, whatever, it just doesn't match.
Yes.
They don't connect the dots the right way.
And usually you can follow the money or follow the motivation. If there's a lie out there, generally we can say, well, of course they're going to say that. They've made $20 billion last year.
Right.
This is one of those where it's kind of hard, and I guess because salt's been around forever, but it's kind of difficult to follow the motivation as to why to keep perpetuating this particular.
I have my own. but this is my own theory and my own alone. It's not in his book.
Okay. All right.
I think similar to trying to get people on statins for high cholesterol, they have found something that they can label as a danger.
That's big business.
And get everybody. Dude, I don't know anyone senior of me, like my dad, my mom, my aunts, they're all on high blood pressure meds.
Yeah.
All of them.
Right.
And that's where I go, okay, they found a little nugget that they can get everybody on that daily subscription.
Right.
Yep.
And we jumped on that bandwagon pretty hard. Actually, one of the studies I did find, now he references a study of 8,000 people quite recently, which does prove his point. But the one that I found was called the Pure Study, 137,000 people, 18 countries from 667 communities. So a
pretty good sample.
Yeah, across the board. And they couldn't find anything except to say that if you're getting less than that, I think it's 3 grams. Don't quote me, I'm not a physician. But if you're getting too little sodium, that's what really is raising them. That's what they were able to prove in the Pure Study, is that too little salt is a much bigger risk than too much.
It's infuriating, right? I mean,
Right.
gosh almighty.
I'll tell you why. Because without salt in your diet, food can be so bland. Just on that level alone, just the idea of eating tasteless, flavorless food
Right.
is enough to make you angry.
So we should probably caution, he does a good job of this in the book, that if you have like kidney issues,
Right.
then
Yes.
salt intake can, so
Yes. Put the little asterisks at the bottom of the screen.
non-Dr. Scott and non-Dr. Jerry,
right.
just put our little disclaimer out.
Right. Yeah. Don't. Hey, you're taking advice from me. You're in more trouble than you realize.
Anybody that wants you in their club.
So when it comes to the type of salt, he recommends unprocessed,
Yep.
gray or pink.
Yeah.
Even though he says the white table salt is maybe because it's, not as bad, doesn't mean it's bad.
Right.
It's just
still in ACL, right? Is
yeah.
that the right? Whatever. Sodium chloride, right? That's salt, I think. Harken back to my high school days. But
great stuff. So he's got plenty of research here. We got the 2003 Cochran review of 57 trials. That's pretty interesting. In 2006, from the American Journal of Medicine, looking at the salt intake of more than 70 million Americans. So some interesting data.
again, a pretty large sample.
Yes, and the final one he wrote is that study I had referenced earlier, 8,000 participants from the American Journal of Hypertension. So those are the two things that always come up. Hypertension and heart attacks are always what you hear reference to too much salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he always does, he sent us, some books, the kind of,
You got some readers out there?
I don't know. My wife, she's gone on to read other books on the heels of this one that he recommended. So
Made her into a reader.
She's always
Information so riveting, made her into a reader.
I'm an audiobook guy. She is a page flipper. She loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the digital or a book like this?
Both Kindle or real book, but an audiobook to her, I think she'd just rather hear music, Spotify or something.
There you go. Dig into the.
So what books did he point us to?
Okay, well, we've got the Salt Fix from 2017. I don't know how to pronounce this last name. Dr. James D. Toniano. I'm so sorry, Dr. Jim.
That person is in the mob.
You better get this. No, it's called The Salt Fix. That's all you have to look for. The Salt Fix from 2017 from Dr. James. I should have just said that. Secondly, is another book called Salt Your Way to Health. That's from David Brownstein, another physician, 2006. And finally, a magazine article. It is titled this, It's Time to End the War on Salt.
Nice.
Stop picking on salt.
Right.
Let's give salt
It's
a
the
little
good one.
room to breathe here. Yeah.
Right.
It's the good one.
It
One
is
of the
the good
reasons
one.
we're around.
Pepper too. I like pepper too.
Yeah.
It's not as good as salt, though.
Doesn't have quite the. No one says the pepper of the earth. Midwesterners, they're the salt of the earth.
That's
Right? They flavor everything, but we don't celebrate salt.
that even gets biblical at times. The salt of the,
true. Right?
Anyways.
Yeah. So, anyway, great stuff, though.
That's it.
Great, interesting. That is it.
Are we good?
We are good.
Just salt. Unless you have kidney problems. Don't be scared of salt.
Asterisks.
I eat a lot of it, frankly.
Yeah.
probably more than I should. But
But anyway, disclaimer: we're not
right. Questions, comments, concerns. Email us at snackcast@yes.fit.
And as my dear leader would say in a moment like this, stay moving.
See ya.